Hello everyone, welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today I am going to move on to activity number 3, grammar focus, which is about simple past, or you can say past simple tense. Alright, so right here we have positive sentence, we have WA question and yes no question. As you can see right here, it is a yes no question, and that is a WA question, and we also have negative, we have positive and negative right here, as you can see. Okay, so let's see the example a little bit. Did you work on Saturday? That is a yes no question. Yes I did. No I didn't. All right, and then you can say I worked all day and I didn't work at all. Okay, the same thing as WA question. What did, so we just add WA word in the front. That's it. What did Nell do on Saturday? And then you can say he stayed home and studied for a test. How did Kara spend her weekend? Then you can say she went to a club and danced with some friends. Okay, so let's go to past simple explanation for further. Okay, so that I can explain you more. All right, so let's take a look at this. So what is simple past or past simple? Okay, so we have 4 right here, but I want you to focus only the first one because the first one is your lesson, and the other 3 is about the extra explanations, so that you don't need to care much about this. Okay, but that can be an extra one. Okay, and what you need to do care is only the first one. So let's find out exactly how to use past simple. So past simple is used to show a complete action at a specific time in the past. So specific, just like an exact time, clear time, when in the past. So it happened. All right, the action happened at a specific time and finished in the past. We often say when it happened, just like yesterday, last night, 2 years ago. So these are time expressions that tell us exactly about the action that already finished or happened. All right, just like this example. Chris, so let me change this a little bit. Chris phoned me yesterday. You can see yesterday is about time expression, so it is in the past, so that we have to add ed right here, or maybe d in some case. He wanted to discuss something with me last night. You see that wanted. Okay, and number 2, 3, 4, you don't need to care much about that. What I do care is about yesterday and last night. So this is about, these are time expressions that can tell us exactly they are past simple. All right, so whenever you see something like this, so you have to use past simple. Okay, and number 2, 3, 4, let me read a little bit for you, and but you don't need to care, or you don't need to understand at this moment. All right, you can find out about this document later. Okay, whenever you come to the next level. Okay, as you can see, number 2, a repeated action is like habit by using adverb of frequency, but you don't need to care much about that. I usually cried when I was 3 years old. Okay, usually. Number 3, to show a completed actions in the past in sequence. It happened from one to another. As you can see that first I ride home, and then had a bath and cooked dinner. You see that happened in a series or sequence. Sequence means series. All right, 1, 2, 3. Okay, things like this. And number 4, to show an interrupted action that was in progress in the past. So it is, let's say it interrupts past continuous right here, but you don't need to care much. What is interrupt? Just like let me give you an example here. They were sleeping when the phone rang. So at the time you were sleeping, and then the phone rang. So the phone interrupts your sleeping. You see that? So this is about in the interruption. So you don't need to care much about 2, 3, and 4. All right. What you do care is only number 1. So number 1 is about the action that happened in the past with specific time. Make sure that you have time expression for this. Okay. So let's take a look at the forms right here. So we have 3 forms: positive, negative, and questions. All right, so we have subject, verb, object, and subject, verb, and object, the same thing. Question, we moved it in the front. All right, so this is a verb past, or you can say verb 2, and this one is a negative. You can use didn't or did not. All right, and the verb is base, everybody. And let me write down base so that you don't get confused with infinitive. Sometimes you don't know what it is. So I write base. and then this one is also base as well. Base, everybody, base is a verb that does not change the form, okay, even though the subject is he, she, or it. As you can see, he and go, you see that we don't change. Why? Because we changed that already, okay. So if it is a positive sentence, we have subject verb to. He went on his holiday last year. And if it is negative, he didn't go. And go, you cannot say went. Why? Because we already changed doesn't to didn't. Okay, if it is a present, we use doesn't. But this one is negative in a past simple form, then you have to use didn't. And to form a question, you just move did in the front of the subject. Did he go? And after the subject, we have to use base as well. Okay, so it means that we don't change according to the subject. Why? Because we have auxiliary verb did already. Understand that? And if it is a WA question, you can add WA word in the front of this question. That's it. Alright, so these are only the forms, but we also have some kind of rules or forms about past simple, especially with regular and irregular verbs. So let's talk about regular verbs a little bit. Okay, so we have 5 right here. So how do we form past simple, especially with verb? So mostly we add ed, right? Or sometimes we add t, okay? Or maybe we change y to ied, or we have to double the final consonant and add ed, things like this. So let's find out number 1, adding ed to the verb. So mostly we add ed to most verbs. So walk, walked, talk, talked. Something wrong with the spelling right here is a typo. Climb, climbed. Alright, as you can see. So mostly we add ed to form past simple. However, if we have e at the end, so we just add only d, okay? It's just like move. Then you have to add moved. Alright, smile, smiled. See that? Use, used. Okay, so we have d. So if we have e at the end, so we just add d. But just like this case, we don't have e, so we have to add ed. Okay. Number 3, most verbs ending with one vowel and consonant, we add double consonant. So let's say CVC, T-O-P, consonant, vowel, consonant. So according to this rule, you have to double the final consonant. So P is the final consonant or the last consonant, so that you have to double before you add ed, as you can see right here. So we have stopped, double P, drop, dropped, so double P, rub, rubbed. See that? So we have double B. So because it is CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay. Rule number 4, verbs ending in Y. Consonant plus Y. If it is a vowel plus Y, no. But if it is a consonant plus Y, yes, we have to change Y to I and add ed. Alright, so let's say change Y to I, ed, and make it short. It's like cry. So a consonant R is a consonant before Y. You see that? So that is the reason we have to change Y to IED. Study. So D is a consonant, then you have to change Y to IED. Try the same thing. However, if it is a vowel plus Y, this one is a consonant plus Y, we change Y to IED, okay? But if it is a vowel plus Y, we have to add it. Let's say we have to add ED, okay? So we don't change Y to IED, okay? It's like stay, then stayed. All right, so we just add ed, play, because a is a vowel, so that you cannot enjoy, enjoyed. Okay. Rule number 5, which is the last one. So verbs have 2 syllables or more, but this one is start from 2 with vowel and consonant. So as you can see right here, visit. Okay, visit, visited. So why you see SIT? It is about consonant, vowel, and consonant. Why don't we add double T and add ed? Okay. Open, just ed. Listen, CVC, but only ed. But why this one, CVC, double? Why regretted, double. Why control double? The reason is just because of the stress. How do you stress a verb? So as you can see right here, the stress is on the first V, okay? And then this one is O. This one is list, okay? So you see that the stress is on the first, so even though it is CVC, we don't, all right, we don't double, so we just add ed. However, the stress here in part B on the second, so the stress is on occur, so this occur, so it's up, all right, so that you have to double the final consonant. Regret, so the stress is on the second, so that we have to double. Control, okay, it's also the second as well. But control, everyone, if it is a British English, control, the stress is on the first. I'm sorry, the stress is on the second. That is correct. So this is English. But American English, the stress is on the first. So control can be written either one L or two L's. Two L's means British, one L is American English. Hopefully you get that. Alright, so if you have any question about the grammar points, everybody, you can ask me in our Telegram group chat, okay? And I will answer to your question. I think it's a little bit complicated, but anyway, you can just play the video once again in order to find out how we use past simple, alright? And when you finish going to this handout, I'd like you to go back to your exercise A, 3A here. So I'd like you to do, let's say, fill in the conversation with past simple, all right, using the verbs in the parentheses, in the bracket, okay? Hopefully you get them. And in this book, we also have regular and irregular, so I explained already about regular. We have 5 rules. For irregular verbs, you have to remember nothing else, okay? There's no rules at all for this. So buy, bought, do, did, done, drive, drove, driven. So you have to remember nothing else. But regular verbs, you have to remember whether it's about Y or with E or CVC or one, the first, the stress is on the first syllable or the stress is on the second, all right? Things like that. So you have to understand. But this, you have to remember, all right, because they are irregular verbs, nothing else, okay? Go, went, sing, sang, see, saw, spent, spent, okay, things like this. All right, so let's do this exercise, and next session I will give you the answer for this, all right? And if you have any questions about past simple, you can leave me question in our Telegram group chat. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.